The human ship docked at Velcor Prime with a soft hiss. Inside the massive space station, thousands of aliens went about their daily business. Some traded goods, others discussed treaties, and many simply enjoyed the view of the stars through the transparent ceiling. It was a normal day, or so everyone thought. Ambassador Hana Kim straightened her uniform and looked at her son. Tay was 10 years old with messy black hair that never stayed in place no matter how much she tried to fix it. He pressed his face against the window, watching the aliens walk past. "Mom, that one has 6 arms," Tay said, pointing excitedly. "Remember what we talked about," Hana said gently. "It's rude to point." "Sorry," Tay said, but he kept looking around with wide eyes. Next to him sat a small animal with gray and black fur. It looked like a mix between a bear and a weasel with small eyes and powerful claws. This was Badger, Tay's pet honey badger. The animal yawned and scratched behind his ear with a back leg. Captain Wu checked his tablet and nodded. "We're cleared for entry, Ambassador. The station administrator wants to meet us at the main dock." "Excellent," Hana said. "Tay, get Badger's leash, please." Tay clipped a blue leash to Badger's collar. The honey badger didn't seem to mind. He had been with Tay since the boy was 7, and they went everywhere together. Where Tay went, Badger followed. The airlock opened, and the small human group stepped out onto the station. Immediately, something changed. An alien with purple skin and 4 eyes was walking past. When it saw Badger, it stopped. Its eyes went wide. Then it made a loud noise and ran in the other direction. "That was weird," Tay said. Captain Wu frowned. Other aliens were starting to notice them now. Or rather, they were noticing Badger. A tall, thin alien with scales backed away slowly. 2 more aliens ducked into a shop and closed the door. Within seconds, alarms started ringing throughout the station. "Warning," a mechanical voice said in multiple languages. "Class 9 Apex Predator detected. All personnel maintain safe distance." Hana sighed. "Not again." "What's a Class 9 Apex Predator?" Tay asked, looking down at Badger. The honey badger was sniffing the floor, completely uninterested in the chaos around him. "Apparently Badger is," Wu said, trying not to smile. An insectoid alien rushed toward them. It had a blue uniform with official badges and moved on 6 legs very quickly. "I am Administrator Vex," it said in a clicking voice. "You must contain that creature immediately." Hana pulled out a tablet and showed it to Vex. "Badger is a registered emotional support animal. All his paperwork is in order. He's completely safe as long as no one threatens his human." "His human?" Vex looked at Tay, who was now sitting on the floor letting Badger climb into his lap. "That small human child?" "My son, yes. That is a Death World predator." Vex's antenna vibrated with stress. "Our sensors say it can kill creatures 3 times its size. Its bite force is measured at—" "Yes, honey badgers are quite strong for their size," Hana interrupted calmly. "But Badger has never hurt anyone who didn't try to hurt Tay first. He's very well trained." A large reptilian alien approached. It wore armor and carried a weapon. This was Krill, the station's security chief. "Ambassador Kim, I must insist the creature be confined to your quarters during your stay." "That won't be possible," Hana said. "Tay needs Badger for emotional support. We have medical documentation." "But the other species," Krill began. "We'll need to adjust," Hana finished. "We received permission to bring Badger before we arrived. If that's changed, we can leave." Vex and Krill looked at each other. They had a silent conversation with their eyes. Finally, Vex's shoulders dropped. "No, the permission stands. But please try to keep the Badger calm." "He's always calm," Tay said, standing up with Badger in his arms. "See, he's sleepy." Indeed, Badger's eyes were half closed. He looked like he might fall asleep any moment. To Tay, this was normal. To every alien watching, it was terrifying. They knew what Earth animals could do. Stories spread through the galaxy about the death world called Earth, where it rained acid, where the air could kill most species, and where the animals were born predators. As the human group walked through the station, aliens cleared a path. Some pressed themselves against walls. Others ducked into rooms. A few brave ones took pictures from far away. Tay waved at them, confused about why everyone was acting so strange. They passed a group of tall warrior aliens. These were Kredex fighters, known across the galaxy for their strength and bravery. They wore ceremonial armor and carried traditional weapons. When they saw Badger, they stepped aside quickly. One of them bowed deeply. "Did you see that, Mom?" Tay asked. They bowed. "That was so cool." Captain Wu coughed to hide a laugh. The mighty Credex warriors were clearly afraid of a small honey badger being carried by a child. They finally reached their assigned quarters. It was a large suite with several rooms and a good view of space. Hana thanked Vex and Krill, who left quickly. Yuna, Hana's assistant, was already there unpacking equipment. How was the welcome? Yuna asked with a knowing smile. The usual panic, Hana said. I thought after 3 years of humans in space, the galaxy would be used to us by now. They're used to us, Yuna said, just not to what we bring with us. Tay put Badger down, and the honey badger immediately explored the new space. He sniffed every corner and scratched at a few walls. Then he found a soft rug and curled up on it. Can we go get ice cream? Tay asked. The message said the station has 300 different flavors. Hana looked at Captain Wu, who shrugged. The station is safe, he said. And we can't hide in our rooms the whole time. All right, Hana agreed. But Badger stays here this time. Oh, Mom. He'll be sad without me. He'll survive an hour, Hana said firmly. Besides, I think the station needs a break. As if understanding, Badger yawned widely, showing all his teeth. Then he closed his eyes and started snoring softly. Tay knelt down and petted his head gently. I'll be back soon, buddy, he whispered. Outside their quarters, life on Velcor Prime slowly returned to normal. Aliens emerged from hiding places. Shops reopened, but everyone was talking about the same thing. Humans had arrived, and they brought a monster with them. Not a weapon, not a robot, but a living creature that they treated like a pet. In a security office, Krill watched footage of Badger walking through the station. He ran the video through the analysis computer again. The results were the same. The small creature had bite force enough to crack bones, claws that could tear through light armor, and a reputation on Earth for fighting animals much larger than itself. And the human child just carries it, Krill said to himself. Vex entered the office. The council wants a report. Tell them the humans are more dangerous than we thought, Krill said. Not because of their weapons or their ships, because they don't understand what danger is. They bring Death World predators with them and call them emotional support animals. Should we be worried? Vex asked. Krill watched Tay on the screen, the boy laughing as he walked with his mother. I don't know, he said honestly. But the galaxy should definitely be careful. What neither of them knew was that this was just the beginning. Soon, everyone would learn just how different humans were from the rest of the galaxy. 3 days had passed since the humans arrived at Velcor Prime. Life on the station had settled into an unusual routine. Aliens learned to check corners before turning them, just in case the human child and his death beast were there. Tay thought everyone was being very friendly, always letting him go first and giving him lots of space. Ambassador Hana was in meetings most days, talking with different alien governments. Tay spent his time with Yuna, who taught him about the different species living on the station. Badger mostly slept, though he did enjoy the special meat the station kitchen prepared for him. On the 4th day, Tay asked if he could visit the observation deck. It was a large room with windows showing the beauty of space. Nebulas, stars, and passing ships created an amazing view. Yuna had work to do, so Captain Wu said yes, but told Tay to take his communicator. And take Badger, Wu added, knowing the honey badger would protect the boy if needed. Tay didn't know that several people had been watching him. One was a merchant named Dax, who had 4 arms and green skin. Dax was not a good person. He saw an opportunity to make money by kidnapping Tay and demanding payment from the humans. Dax hired the Thornback Squad, 6 mercenaries who were famous across the galaxy. They had never failed a mission. They wore heavy armor and carried weapons that could punch through steel. They were big, strong, and feared by everyone. Tay reached the observation deck and pressed his face against the glass. Outside, a purple nebula swirled in beautiful patterns. Badger sat on his shoulder, also looking out but probably not caring much about the view. It's so pretty, Tay said to Badger. I wish Dad could see this. His father was back on Earth working as a teacher. Tay missed him but knew this trip was important for his mom's work. Behind him, the door to the observation deck opened. 6 large figures entered. They were the Thornback mercenaries. Their leader, Grath, had spikes on his back and arms that could extend like knives. Human child, Grath said in a deep voice. Come with us. Don't make noise and you won't be hurt. Tay turned around and saw them. His eyes went wide. Wow, are you soldiers? My friend back home wants to be a soldier. The mercenaries looked at each other, confused. This child wasn't scared at all. "We're taking you," another mercenary said. This one had 4 eyes. "Your mother will pay money to get you back." "Oh," Tay said, finally understanding. "You're bad guys. Mom told me about stranger danger." Badger, who had been dozing on Tay's shoulder, opened one eye. He saw the 6 large aliens approaching his human. He saw their aggressive postures. Badger's small brain, which cared about exactly 2 things, Tay and food, recognized a threat. "Look, just come quietly," Grath said, stepping forward. "We don't want to hurt." Badger made a sound. It wasn't loud, but it was angry. The honey badger jumped off Tay's shoulder and landed on the floor. His fur puffed up, making him look slightly bigger. His small eyes focused on the mercenaries. "Is that the death beast?" one mercenary asked nervously. "It's tiny," another said. "Our armor can handle," Badger charged. What happened next would be replayed across the galaxy for months. The observation deck had security cameras that recorded everything. Later, analysts would watch the footage over and over, trying to understand how it happened. Badger moved faster than the mercenaries expected. He ran up the leg of the nearest one, his claws finding gaps in the armor. The mercenary screamed and tried to grab him, but Badger was already moving. He bit down on an exposed joint and the mercenary fell, his leg armor damaged. "Shoot it!" Grath yelled. They tried. Energy weapons fired, but Badger was too fast and too low. He darted between their legs, biting and clawing. His thick skin and dense fur protected him from glancing blows. One mercenary's weapon overheated and exploded, making him drop it with a curse. Tay, meanwhile, had sat down and was watching. He knew Badger would be okay. Badger always was. A mercenary tried to grab Badger with both hands. The honey badger twisted in midair, bit down on the alien's fingers, and didn't let go. The alien howled and shook his hand, but Badger held on. Finally, the alien's grip failed and Badger dropped, ready for the next target. Grath extended his back spikes and tried to stab downward. Badger rolled and the spikes hit the floor. Before Grath could react, Badger climbed up his back using the spikes like a ladder. He bit down on the back of Grath's neck where the armor was thinnest. "Get it off. Get it off." Grath spun in circles trying to reach behind him. The other mercenaries didn't know what to do. If they shot at Badger now, they might hit their leader. One tried to pull Badger off and got bitten for his trouble. Another tried to use a net, but Badger saw it coming and jumped, landing on that mercenary's face. 15 minutes after the attack began, all 6 Thornback mercenaries were on the ground. Some were unconscious. Others were conscious but refused to move, terrified that the small creature would come back. Their expensive armor was dented, scratched, and some parts were completely torn off. Their weapons were scattered across the floor. Badger walked back to Tay, his fur still puffed up but calming down. He climbed into the boy's lap and made a satisfied grunt. "Good boy," Tay said, petting him. "You protected me." The door burst open and Yuna ran in with the security team behind her. She saw the scene and stopped. 6 legendary mercenaries were down, and Tay was sitting peacefully with Badger curled in his lap. "Are you okay?" Yuna asked, rushing to Tay. "I'm fine," Tay said. "These guys wanted to kidnap me, but Badger stopped them." "Did you bring snacks?" Yuna pulled out a small bag of cookies from her pocket. She always carried them because Tay got hungry often. "Here you go." "Thanks." Tay took a cookie and broke off a piece for Badger. "You want a cookie too? You earned it." Badger ate the piece and closed his eyes, ready for another nap. Fighting always made him sleepy. The security team carefully approached the mercenaries. Krill arrived moments later, his weapon drawn. He looked at the scene in disbelief. "What happened here?" he demanded. "They tried to take Ty," Yuna explained. Badger defended him. Krill looked at the small animal, now sleeping peacefully in the child's arms. Then he looked at the 6 professional fighters on the ground. His species had evolved past the need for expressions, but if he could have shown emotion, it would have been shock. "All 6 of them?" Krill asked quietly. "Badger's really good at protecting me," Tay said proudly, giving the honey badger another piece of cookie. Within an hour, the security footage was being transmitted across the galaxy. News stations interrupted regular programming to show it. Analysts tried to explain what they were seeing. Military experts were called in to comment. "The creature displays tactics beyond its size," one expert said on a popular news show. "It targets weak points, uses its environment, and never stops moving. It's like watching a natural disaster with fur. And the human child just sits there," another expert added, completely calm. "As if this is normal. For humans, The first expert said slowly. Maybe it is. Back on Velcor Prime, Dax was arrested. He confessed everything when he learned that his hired mercenaries were in the medical bay, some asking for psychological counseling. The Thornback Squad's reputation was destroyed. They had been beaten by what the galaxy now called the Small Demon. Ambassador Hana was informed of the incident during her meeting. She apologized, thanked everyone for their concern, and asked if they could take a short break. When she reached the observation deck, Tay ran to her. "Mom, you should have seen it." Badger was amazing. Hana hugged her son tightly, relief flooding through her. Then she looked at Badger, who opened one eye to look back at her. The honey badger yawned and went back to sleep. "Thank you," Hana whispered to the small animal. That night, the Council of Five held an emergency meeting. They had been planning to discuss trade agreements. Now they had a different topic. What else did humans bring with them from Earth, and how dangerous was humanity really? The Council of Five gathered in their chambers, a grand room at the center of Velcor Prime. Each member represented a major power in the galaxy. They had ruled together for centuries, making decisions that affected trillions of lives. Today, they faced something they had never encountered before. Humans who carried predators like pets. Ambassador Hana stood before them with Mira, the human cultural attaché, and Professor Han, a xenobiologist who studied alien life. Tay sat in the back with Captain Wu and Yuna. Badger slept in a carrier, snoring softly. Council member Thek spoke first. She was tall and blue with elegant features. "Ambassador Kim, we must address this situation. Your species brings dangerous animals into civilized space. This cannot continue." "With respect," Hana said calmly, "Badger has only defended my son from actual threats. He has not attacked anyone unprovoked." "The creature defeated 6 trained warriors," Councilmember Rack said. "He was short and round with red skin. This shows it is too dangerous to be near civilians." "Those warriors were attempting to kidnap a child," Mira pointed out. "In human culture, we consider defense of children to be not just acceptable, but necessary." Councilmember Vorn leaned forward. He looked like a tree, with bark-like skin and leaves growing from his head. "We understand your culture permits this, but you must understand our concern. We have reviewed Earth's database. Your world is classified as a death world. The creatures there are far beyond what most species consider normal. That's why I'm here," Professor Han said, stepping forward. He adjusted his glasses and pulled out a holographic projector. "I'd like to help everyone understand Earth's ecosystem." "Please proceed," Councilmember Leah said. She was the wisest of the 5, ancient even by galactic standards. Her species lived for thousands of years, and she had seen much. But even she looked nervous. Professor Han activated the projector. An image of Earth appeared, rotating slowly. "Earth is our home. It has diverse environments from frozen poles to hot deserts. Life has evolved to survive in all of these places." The council nodded. This they understood. "Now let me show you some examples of Earth animals." Han pressed a button. An image of a grizzly bear appeared. This is a grizzly bear. Adult males can weigh 400 kilograms and stand 3 meters tall. They can run at 50 kilometers per hour. Several council members shifted uncomfortably. "Some humans," Han continued, "encounter these in the wild regularly. We have rules to stay safe, but these animals live near human towns and cities." "You don't exterminate them?" Rax asked, shocked. "No," Han said. "We protect them. They're important to our ecosystem." He changed the image. Now it showed a hippopotamus. This is a hippopotamus. Despite looking slow, they kill more humans in Africa than any other large animal. They're territorial and aggressive, and yet humans live near them. Thex asked. "Yes, we've learned to coexist." More images followed. Lions, tigers, crocodiles, elephants, and sharks. Each one made the council more uncomfortable. Then Han showed them snakes, spiders, and scorpions. These smaller creatures can also be deadly. Many have venom that can kill a human, but children learn to identify them, avoid them, and respect them. "This is madness," Vorn whispered. "This is Earth," Han said simply. He switched to a new image. "Now here's the interesting part. Some humans keep these as pets." The image showed a dog. "That looks friendly," Leah said. "Dogs are descended from wolves, pack hunters that can take down prey much larger than themselves. We domesticated them thousands of years ago. Now, most human families have at least one. But surely not the dangerous ones, Rax said. Han showed images of people with pet snakes, lizards, and even a few with pet tigers. Humans form bonds with many creatures. We find them fascinating. What about the honey badger? Thex asked. Where does it rank in danger? Han smiled. Honey badgers are tough and fearless, but they're actually considered moderately dangerous by Earth standards. They rarely attack humans without reason. They're more of a nuisance than a threat. Moderately dangerous, Vorn repeated slowly. That creature destroyed trained fighters, and you call it moderate? Yes, Han said. Would you like me to continue? The council exchanged glances. Leah nodded. Show us. Han took a breath. Let me tell you about Australia. For the next 30 minutes, Professor Han explained Australia. He showed them images of box jellyfish, blue-ringed octopuses, funnel-web spiders, inland taipans, saltwater crocodiles, and cassowaries. He explained that Australia had more deadly creatures per square kilometer than anywhere else on Earth. And people live there? Thex asked weakly. Millions of people, Han confirmed. Children grow up learning which animals to avoid. It becomes second nature. Second nature, Rax muttered. They learn to live with death as children. Han nodded. From a certain perspective, yes. But we don't see it that way. We see it as understanding our world. Mira stepped forward. May I add something? Leah gestured for her to speak. Human children, Mira said, are taught from a young age about danger. We learn to look both ways before crossing streets. We learn not to touch hot stoves. We learn which plants are poisonous. For us, living with a certain level of risk is normal. It makes us careful, not fearful. But you bring these creatures into space, Vorn said, here where others have no experience with them. That's fair, Hana acknowledged. Perhaps we should have been more considerate. But understand that to us, Badger is family. Tay needs him. They've been together for 3 years. May I speak? A small voice called from the back. Everyone turned. Tay stood up with Yuna's hand on his shoulder for support. The council recognizes the human child, Leah said gently. Tay walked forward, looking small in the large chamber. My name is Tay. Badger is my best friend. Back on Earth, my friend Jisoo has a dog. My friend Minho's family has horses. They're really big animals that could kick really hard. My teacher has a big snake. We learn to be gentle and respectful. Do you understand that others find Badger frightening? Leah asked. Yes, Tay said honestly. But Badger is only scary if you try to hurt someone. Otherwise, he's just sleepy and likes treats. What if we asked you to leave Badger on Earth next time? Thex asked. Tay's eyes filled with tears. But then I'd be alone. Badger helps me when I'm nervous. He makes me feel safe. The council saw the child's distress. Even though they were from different species, they understood a child's fear of losing something important. We must discuss this, Leah said kindly. Thank you for your honesty, young Tay. The humans were escorted out. The council began their debate. It lasted hours. Some wanted to ban humans from bringing Earth animals into space. Others argued that would insult humanity and risk peaceful relations. A few suggested making Earth a forbidden world, keeping humans isolated. Finally, Leah spoke. We face a choice. We can push humanity away, or we can try to understand them. Yes, they are different. Yes, they come from a world that would kill most of us. But they have shown no hostility. The child's animal only acted in defense. But the danger, Rax began, is manageable, Leah interrupted. We have security. We have rules. We can adapt. She looked at each council member. Think carefully. Humans have technology we want. They have shown they can survive in conditions we cannot. They may be valuable allies. Do we really want to reject them because we're afraid of their pets? I propose, Vorn said slowly, that we table the vote on restricting humans. Instead, we should learn more about them. Understanding brings less fear than ignorance, the others agreed, though reluctantly. The vote to classify Earth as a forbidden world was postponed. As they finished, an alarm sounded. A distress signal was coming from a nearby mining colony. The message was clear. Pirates were attacking and civilians needed help. The station's fleet was hours away. The colony would be destroyed before help arrived. In that moment, the council made a choice that would change everything. They called for the humans. The emergency alert echoed through Velcor Prime. The mining colony of Helix 7 was under attack by Vrath Marauders, the most feared pirates in the sector. They were known for taking everything of value and leaving no survivors. The colony had 300 miners from various species, all trapped. Captain Wu studied the tactical display in the human quarters. The station's defense fleet is 6 hours away. The colony has maybe 2 hours before the pirates break through their shields. We have to help, Yuna said immediately. Ambassador Hana looked at her small team. Besides Wu and Yuna, there was Jin, a security specialist, and Mira, who had military training before becoming a diplomat. Just 4 people against 30 pirates. I'm going, Wu said. We all are, Jin added, checking his equipment. Hana wanted to argue, but she knew they were right. The council had called for human help, testing them. If they refused, humanity's reputation would suffer. If they tried and failed, at least they tried. I'm staying with Tai, Hana said firmly. Someone needs to. The team gathered their gear and headed to the shuttle bay. They didn't have heavy weapons or armor, just standard security equipment. The council watched through cameras, skeptical. How could 4 humans do what would take a military strike force? What no one noticed was Tay following them. He had heard the alarm and wanted to see what was happening. Badger walked beside him, the honey badger sensing his human's curiosity. When the team boarded the shuttle, Tay slipped into a supply compartment with Badger. The door closed and the shuttle launched. The flight took 30 minutes. During that time, the team planned their approach. The colony was built into an asteroid, with multiple levels connected by tunnels. The pirates had breached the main entrance and were working their way down. We'll split into 2 teams, Wu said. Jin and I will go high, draw their attention. Yuna and Mira, you evacuate civilians through the maintenance tunnels. Understood, they all replied. The shuttle docked at an emergency port on the colony's far side. The team exited, moving quickly through corridors. The gravity here was low, making each step feel bouncy. They could hear weapons fire in the distance. In the supply compartment, Tay woke up. The shuttle ride had made him sleepy. He looked around, confused about why everything was dark. He pushed the compartment door open and stepped out. Badger followed, stretching after the cramped space. Hello? Tay called. No one answered. The shuttle was empty. He saw a door leading into the colony and decided to find Captain Wu. He was thirsty and needed to use the bathroom. Badger walked beside him, unbothered by the strange environment. Meanwhile, the human team was proving why Earth produced survivors. They moved through the colony's dangerous areas without hesitation. When a pipe burst, spraying superheated steam, they simply went around it. When the gravity failed in one section, they adapted instantly. Jin and Wu reached the main level and engaged the pirates. The Vrath were large, heavily armored creatures with natural weapons and shields. They turned toward the humans, expecting easy targets. They were wrong. Humans had trained for combat on Earth, where everything was heavier, where oxygen was thicker, where the environment itself tried to kill you. On this low-gravity asteroid, they moved like dancers. Wu rolled under a pirate's swing and disabled his weapon. Jin used the walls to bounce, attacking from unexpected angles. What are they? One pirate shouted in his language. Humans! Another replied. From the death world. Panic spread through the pirate ranks. They had heard stories. Every species had. Earth was where normal rules didn't apply. Below, Yuna and Mira found the trapped miners. The aliens were huddled in a sealed chamber, terrified. Yuna smiled reassuringly and spoke in their language. We're here to help. Follow us. But the pirates, a miner began, are being handled, Mira said confidently. Trust us. They led the miners through maintenance tunnels that were partially flooded with toxic coolant. The humans wore minimal protection, while the miners needed full environmental suits. The humans had tested the coolant and knew it wouldn't kill them, though it would be very uncomfortable. On the command level, the pirate leader Karth monitored the situation with growing anger. His forces were being pushed back by just 2 humans. He couldn't understand how. Then his sensors detected something in the side corridor, a human child. Karth smiled. Perfect. He would use the child as a hostage, force the human warriors to surrender. He moved quickly, his large form squeezing through the narrow passage. He found Tay looking at a wall map, trying to figure out where the bathroom was. Human child, Karth said in broken common language. You come with me. Tay turned and saw the massive alien. Karth was 3 meters tall, covered in armor and weapons. His face was hidden behind a scarred helmet. He reached down with a clawed hand to grab Tay. Badger, who had been investigating a strange smell near the floor, looked up. He saw a threat approaching his human. The honey badger's brain, which understood very little about the complexity of the universe, understood this perfectly. Protect Tay. Badger charged with an angry snarl. What is... Karth began, looking down at the small, furry creature. Then Badger reached him, climbing up his leg armor faster than Karth could react. The honey badger found gaps in the armor, biting and clawing with fierce determination. Get off! Karth swung his arms wildly, trying to dislodge Badger. The honey badger held on, moving from leg to chest to arm. Every time Karth grabbed for him, Badger moved. The pirate leader stumbled backward, crashing into a wall. Badger bit down on Karth's weapon harness and pulled. The straps broke and weapons clattered to the floor. Karth tried to run, but Badger jumped onto his back, clawing at his neck armor. The pirate leader, feared across 3 sectors, ran screaming through the corridors with a small earth animal on his back. Help! Someone help me! Karth cried in his own language. Pirates who saw their leader running in terror from a small creature dropped their weapons and fled. If the mighty Karth couldn't handle it, what chance did they have? Captain Wu heard the commotion and ran toward it. He found Karth on the ground, covering his head with his arms, while Badger stood on his chest, growling. Tay was nearby, drinking from a water fountain he had finally found. Tay? Wu said in shock. How did you get here? I hid in the shuttle, Tay admitted. I'm sorry, but I really had to go to the bathroom. Wu couldn't help but laugh. He called Badger off Karth, who immediately surrendered, begging to be taken anywhere away from the demon beast. The remaining pirates, seeing their leader captured and hearing what happened, surrendered without further fight. The miners were saved. The colony was secure. The entire operation took 45 minutes. When the station's defense fleet finally arrived, they found the humans sitting peacefully with the miners, sharing food and water. The pirates were tied up, guarded by Badger, who slept on top of a crate nearby. Not one pirate dared to move. Back on Velcor Prime, the council watched the footage in silence. They saw how the humans moved through dangerous environments like it was nothing. They saw the teamwork, the efficiency, the complete lack of fear, but most of all they saw Tay, calmly drinking water while Badger chased a notorious pirate leader. They are different from us, Leah said quietly. Perhaps that is exactly why we need them. The galaxy watched the broadcast too. Every news station showed the footage. Analysts tried to explain it. Military experts were called again to comment, but this time their tone was different. The humans didn't just survive, one expert said. They excelled. They operated in conditions that would challenge our best troops, and they did it with minimal equipment. And the child, another added. He wasn't even supposed to be there. He snuck aboard because he was curious. What kind of species raises children who are that brave? Or that foolish, the first expert said. Is there a difference? The second asked. The question would be debated for years to come. The mining colony rescue became the most watched event in galactic history. Within hours, the footage spread to every corner of known space. Within days, everyone had an opinion about humans. They were no longer just the strange species from the death world. They were potential heroes or potential threats, depending on who you asked. Ambassador Hana received an urgent message. Senior Human Ambassador Hyun was coming from Earth to handle final negotiations. The Galactic Assembly wanted to meet and decide humanity's place among the stars. Tay became famous overnight. Aliens approached him carefully, asking for pictures. He didn't understand why everyone wanted photos, but his mother said it was polite to agree. Badger tolerated the attention, though he preferred sleeping. A journalist named Yoon arrived from Earth to cover the story. She was young and excited, seeing this as her big break. She interviewed miners from Helix 7 who all had the same things to say. The humans saved us, a miner told her. They went through areas that would have killed us. They didn't even seem worried. What about the honey badger? Jun asked. The miner shuddered. That creature is both wonderful and terrifying. It chased our attacker like he was nothing, but then the human child just picked it up and pet it. The child called it a good boy. The mining colony wanted to give Badger a medal. They held a small ceremony, and Tay helped pin the medal to Badger's collar. The honey badger tried to eat it immediately, thinking it was food. The miners found this both horrifying and adorable. When Ambassador Hyun arrived at Velcor Prime, she brought gifts from Earth, coffee, chocolate, and detailed information about Earth's ecosystem. She was older than Hana, with gray hair and kind eyes. She had been humanity's first contact with alien life years ago. "So this is the famous Tai," Hyun said, shaking the boy's hand. "You've caused quite a stir." "I didn't mean to," Tae said honestly. "I just wanted to see the colony." "Sometimes," Hyun said with a smile, "the best things happen by accident." The Galactic Assembly gathered in the largest chamber on Velcor Prime. Representatives from 847 species filled the seats. Humans had never seen so many different types of life in one place. There were beings made of gas, others made of crystal, and some that existed in multiple dimensions at once. Ambassador Hyun stood at the podium. Hana and Mira stood beside her. Tae sat in the front row with Badger on his lap, trying to stay quiet like his mother asked. "Honored Assembly," Hyun began, "we come before you with a revised proposal. After recent events, we understand there are concerns about humanity joining your community. We wish to address these concerns openly." Council member Leah, representing the Assembly, spoke. "Ambassador Hyun, humanity has shown both promise and risk. You saved lives at Helix 7. For this, we are grateful. But you also bring creatures from your world that terrify ours. How do we balance this?" "By understanding us," Hyun said simply. "Yes, Earth is different. Yes, we coexist with danger in ways that seem strange to you. But this has made us adaptable, strong, and protective of those who cannot protect themselves." She activated a holographic display. "We propose the following. Earth will be classified as a restricted garden world. It will be protected but not forbidden. Humans who travel in space will register any Earth animals they bring. These animals will be documented and their behavior monitored." "And in return?" Leah asked. "In return, humanity offers our services in dangerous situations. We can respond to emergencies in environments that others find difficult. We can help with rescue operations, disaster relief, and security in hostile conditions." The Assembly murmured. "This was unexpected. Humans were offering to do the jobs no one else wanted." "You would risk yourselves for others?" a representative asked. "We already do," Hana said, stepping forward. "On Earth, we have firefighters who run into burning buildings. We have coast guards who brave storms to save drowning people. We have medics who work in war zones. Helping others in danger is part of who we are." "But why?" another representative asked. "What do you gain?" "Friends," Tae said quietly. His small voice carried in the silent chamber. "We gain friends." Everyone turned to look at the child. Leah gestured for him to speak. Tae stood up, Badger in his arms. "My mom says friends help each other even when it's scary. That's what friends do. We want to be friends with everyone here." The simple honesty of a child cut through political complexity. Here was the truth of humanity. They wanted connection, not conquest. They wanted to help, not harm. A representative from a water-based species spoke. "If humans are approved, my world would like to request assistance. We have underwater cities that require maintenance in deep pressure zones. Our people cannot go there safely. We have divers on Earth who work in such conditions," Hyun said. "We would be happy to help." More representatives spoke up, each with requests. Humans could help in radiation zones, high-gravity environments, and extreme temperature areas. Places that required expensive robots could instead use human workers who needed less equipment and could adapt on the spot. The vote was called. The Assembly would decide if humans could join as full members. The process took hours as each species discussed and voted. Tae fell asleep during the wait with Badger curled against him. Finally, Leah stood. "The vote is complete. By a majority of 712 species in favor, humanity is welcomed into the galactic community." The chamber erupted in various forms of applause. Some species clapped, others hummed, and a few released pleasant scents. Hyun bowed deeply, honored and relieved. "Thank you," she said. "Humanity will not disappoint you." "There are conditions," Leah added. "First, all Earth animals must be registered. Second, humans taking dangerous assignments must be properly trained and equipped. Third, young humans like Tae must have adult supervision in space." Everyone looked at Tae, who was still asleep. Badger opened one eye, yawned, and went back to sleep. "We agree to all conditions," Hyun said. Over the next few weeks, the treaty was written and signed. Humans gained access to galactic technology, medicine, and trade routes. In return, they provided services in dangerous environments and shared Earth's knowledge. Something unexpected happened too. Other species became fascinated with Earth animals. They wanted to learn about them, understand them, and some even wanted to see them. The concept of pets was strange to many aliens, but Tay's relationship with Badger showed them something beautiful. Different species could form bonds of love and loyalty. A program was created, the Earth Animal Companion Exchange. Humans would bring animals to meet other species, always supervised and always safe. Children across the galaxy learned about dogs, cats, rabbits, and birds. They learned that Earth's creatures, while sometimes dangerous, could also be gentle and loving. Tay became an ambassador of sorts, though he didn't really understand it. He just knew that lots of aliens wanted to meet Badger. He was happy to introduce them, showing them how to pet Badger gently and what treats he liked. 5 years passed. Tay was now 15, training to be a xeno-diplomat like his mother. He had traveled to dozens of worlds, always with Badger by his side. The honey badger was older now, slower but still protective of his human. The incident at Velcor Prime was taught in schools across the galaxy. It was called the day humanity proved itself, not with weapons or threats, but with courage, kindness, and a 10-year-old boy who just wanted to make friends. Humans became known as the protector species. When disasters struck, humans were called first. When exploration reached dangerous new areas, humans volunteered. They weren't the strongest species or the smartest or the most advanced, but they were the bravest and the kindest, and that mattered more. Badger received many more medals over the years. He tried to eat each one. The galaxy found this charming, creating a saying, as determined as Badger eating medals. It meant someone who pursued their goals no matter what. Ambassador. Hana eventually retired and returned to Earth. She wrote a book about humanity's integration into galactic society. The final chapter was about Tay and Badger, about how sometimes the most powerful thing in the universe is the simple desire to protect those you love. On Velcor Prime, a statue was erected in the observation deck where the Thornback squad was defeated. It showed a human child with a honey badger on his shoulder looking up at the stars. The plaque read, "They walked together without fear and taught the galaxy to do the same." Tay visited the statue once years later. Badger was gone by then, having lived a long and happy life. Tay stood before the statue, remembering his friend. "We did good, didn't we, buddy?" he whispered. An alien family approached, their child shy and curious. "Excuse me," the parent said. "Are you the real Ty?" "I am," Tay said with a smile. The child held out a small stuffed animal. It was a toy honey badger. "You're my hero," the child said in a tiny voice. Tay knelt down and looked at the toy. It looked just like Badger. "Thank you. You know what Badger taught me? That being small doesn't mean being weak, and being different doesn't mean being alone." The child hugged the toy tighter. "I want to be brave like you." "You already are," Tay said. "You came over to talk to a stranger. That takes courage." As Tay walked away, he looked back at the statue. The galaxy had feared them once, feared what they were, what they brought, what they represented.